There will come a time, maybe it's today, when the voices around you fall silent, or worse, they rise only to doubt you. They laugh, they question, they tell you that you're dreaming too big, too wild, too far from the world they've settled for. You stand alone holding a vision no one else can see, a fire no one else can feel. And in that moment, you face the question that defines every champion. Can you believe when no one else does? This is not about ego. It's about principle. It's about the invisible force that shapes destinies, builds empires, and carves legends from obscurity. The truth is this, the deeper truth: the world will test you not with hardship, but with doubt. And only one kind of person survives that test, the one who believes anyway. To stand firm when the world doubts you requires a fortress built not of bricks and mortar, but of unshakable faith. Faith in yourself, your vision, and your ability to achieve what others claim is impossible. This self-belief is not a fleeting emotion or a momentary surge of confidence. It is a deep, unwavering conviction that no external circumstance, no opinion, no failure can shake. It is the bedrock on which all success is built. Consider for a moment the countless stories of those who reached heights thought unreachable. Did they ascend because the path was clear, or because everyone around them cheered their every move? No, in many cases their journey began in isolation, met with skepticism, ridicule, and outright disbelief. The deeper truth, the difference between them and the countless others who gave up, was not luck or talent alone, but their refusal to surrender their belief in themselves. Their inner faith acted as a shield against the storms of doubt and as a compass pointing toward their goal. Self-belief is a muscle, and like any muscle, it must be trained, strengthened, and exercised daily. It begins as a seed, planted deep within the fertile ground of your mind, nourished by your desires and disciplined thoughts. When others cast doubt, this belief grows roots, pushing deeper, anchoring itself firmly so that the winds of criticism cannot uproot it. One of the greatest mistakes people make is to look outside themselves for validation and proof of their worth. They search for signs in the approval of others, in the applause of crowds, or in the immediate results of their efforts. Yet, this external approval is unreliable and transient. It changes with trends, moods, and the shifting tides of public opinion. The only true validation that matters is the one that comes from within. A resolute trust in your purpose and your capacity to fulfill it. When you rely on self-belief as your foundation, you begin to understand that failures and setbacks are not verdicts of your ability, but rather stepping stones on the path to mastery. Every successful person has faced rejection, disappointment, and failure. The difference is they saw these challenges not as reflections of their worth, but as lessons that strengthened their resolve. Their belief gave them the courage to rise again and again, knowing that success is forged in persistence, not in perfection. This internal belief also creates a magnetic force that attracts opportunities, resources, and allies. When you carry an unwavering faith in yourself, others begin to sense it. Your confidence becomes contagious, inspiring trust and support. Even when no one initially believes in your dream, your conviction plants a seed of possibility in the minds of others, slowly transforming skepticism into support. Moreover, unshakable self-belief empowers you to take calculated risk. Fear of failure is one of the greatest obstacles to progress. But when your belief in your ultimate success is stronger than your fear of failure, you step forward boldly. The embracing uncertainty as part of the journey rather than as a barrier. This courage to act despite doubt is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain stuck in the realm of what if. Building such a powerful belief system requires deliberate effort. It is not something that can be wished into existence. It demands constant affirmation through positive self-talk, visualization of success, and surrounding yourself with influences that reinforce your faith in your abilities. The mind is a garden, and your beliefs are the seeds. What you nurture will grow, and what you neglect will wither. The deeper truth is essential to understand. The true self-belief does not mean arrogance or blind optimism. The deeper truth, it is rooted in realism, acknowledging your weaknesses and challenges while holding fast to the certainty of your potential. The deeper truth. This balance allows you to be humble enough to learn, adapt, but confident enough to trust the direction you are heading. Unshakable self-belief also means refusing to internalize the negative labels others might place on you. Society is quick to categorize and limit individuals based on their past, their background, or the narrow confines of conventional wisdom. But your belief must transcend these limitations. You are not bound by the judgments of others. You are defined by the faith you have in your own potential to grow beyond them. This belief becomes a silent partner that works behind the scenes, sustaining you in moments of doubt and pushing you forward when obstacles appear insurmountable. It is the whisper in your ear when the crowd falls silent, the deeper reminding you that the voice that matters most is the one inside your own mind. The deeper truth. Many who have achieved extraordinary success will tell you that their greatest battles were fought not in boardrooms or on stages, but within their own minds. The war between doubt and belief is where the true victory lies. When you conquer that battlefield, external triumph follows inevitably. In essence, unshakable self-belief is the secret engine driving every great achievement. It is the fire that keeps the dream alive when everything else seems to conspire against it. The deeper truth is the invisible force that trams ordinary men and women into pioneers and visionaries. To cultivate this belief, you must first commit to the journey of self-mastery, to recognize your thoughts as the architects of your reality and to choose belief over doubt each day in every decision and with every step you take. The deeper through the foundation you build now will support the towering success you seek tomorrow. Life will not simply hand you success on a silver platter. It will place obstacles, hurdles, and doubts along your path to see if your desire is strong enough to endure, your vision clear enough to persevere. When no one believes in you and the voices of skepticism grow louder, this is not a sign that you have failed or that your dream is impossible. Rather, it is a test, an essential trial designed to refine your character, sharpen your focus, and separate the true seekers from the faint-hearted. Adversity is often misunderstood. The many see it as punishment or proof that the universe is conspiring against them. But in truth, adversity is teacher. It is an opportunity disguised in hardship. The deeper truth, a challenge issued by life to reveal your inner strength and resolve. The moments when the world turns its back on you, when you feel isolated and questioned, are the very moments when your spirit is called to rise and demonstrate its mettle. Doubt, whether from others or from within, acts as a crucible. It strips away illusions and false hopes to reveal what lies at the core of your belief. It tests whether your conviction is built on shifting sands or on a rock-solid foundation. When you encounter doubt, do you crumble and retreat, or do you stand firm and prove that your faith in your purpose is stronger than the voices that oppose you? The answer to this question shapes the outcome of your journey. The deeper truth, many great achieved out history were born in the face of profound skepticism. The inventors, artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders who dared to defy conventional wisdom were often met with ridicule and disbelief. Yet they understood that doubt was not the end of the road, but a fork in the path. One way leading to despair, the other to determination. They chose the latter, using doubt as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. It is important to realize that the opinions of others are fleeting and often you-informed. People tend to project their own limitations and fears onto those who dare to dream differently. Their disbelief is a reflection of their own mindset, not a verdict on your potential. When you recognize this truth, you begin to see adversity and doubt for what they truly are, temporary tests of your resilience and commitment. Furthermore, adversity sharpens your problem-solving skills and deepens your understanding. It forces you to innovate, to adapt, and to develop strategies that would have remained dormant without the pressure of challenge. When the easy path is blocked, you are compelled to discover new routes and solutions. This process transforms you into a more resourceful, capable individual, qualities essential for long-term success. It is also essential to distinguish between external doubt and internal doubt. External doubt comes from others and can be ignored or reframed. Internal doubt, however, is the voice inside that questions your worth and your ability to succeed. This internal battle is often the fiercest and most decisive. If you allow internal doubt to dominate, external adversity becomes insurmountable. But if you master your inner dialogue, you create an unbreakable shield against all external negativity. When you view adversity and doubt as tests, you change your relationship with them. Instead of fearing failure or rejection, you begin to embrace these experiences as part of your growth process. This shift in perspective removes the emotional weight that often accompanies obstacles and replaces it with a sense of purpose and challenge. Moreover, those who succeed in the face of adversity often develop a profound sense of gratitude for the very obstacles that tried to stop them. They recognize that without these tests, they would not have discovered their full potential or achieved depth of character necessary to sustain success. Adversity becomes a teacher, shaping not only the outcome of their goals, but the person they become in the process. Persistence, fueled by the understanding that adversity is a test, becomes a powerful tool. It is not mere stubbornness or blind determination, but a wise, deliberate choice to keep moving forward despite the difficulties. This persistence is what transforms dreams into reality because it outlasts opposition, disappointment, and even self-doubt. It is also crucial to remember that every test has a purpose and a timeline. No hardship is permanent. Those who endure understand that the darkness before dawn is a natural part of the cycle. They hold fast to the belief that with enough perseverance, the clouds will part and clarity will return. The deeper truth, this hope is not wishful thinking, but practical acknowledgement of the laws that govern success. The capacity to withstand adversity and doubt is what separates those who merely dream from those who realize their dreams. It is a defining quality that cannot be taught in a classroom or learned from books alone. It must be experienced, tested, and proven in the crucible of real life. To face adversity and doubt without faltering requires a mind that refuses to accept defeat as final. It demands courage, patience, the deeper and unrelenting commitment to your vision. The deeper truth, those who develop this mindset cultivate an inner strength that becomes their greatest asset, an invisible force that carries them through the darkest hours toward the light of achievement. When no one believes in you, when the world seems silent or hostile, remember that you are in the middle of a test. Your response to this test determines your future. Will you see it as an end or a beginning? The deeper truth, a barrier or a gateway, the choice is yours, and within it lies the power to transform your destiny. The human mind is the most extraordinary tool ever given to mankind. It holds within it the power to shape not only how we perceive the world, but also how the world ultimately takes shape around us. This power is not some abstract concept or mystical notion. It is a fundamental law of nature. What the mind can conceive and firmly believe, it can achieve. This principle is the foundation of every great accomplishment, every breakthrough, and every dream fulfilled. When no one believes in you, it is your mind that must become your greatest ally. It is the crucible where your thoughts, beliefs, and desires are forged into the blueprint of your future. Your external circumstances, the opinions of others, and even the apparent impossibility of your goal mean little compared to the images and convictions you hold within your mind. The mind is the architect of reality. Consider the mind as a garden. Whatever seeds you plant and nurture will grow. If you cultivate thoughts of doubt, fear, and limitation, those are the plants that will flourish and shape your experience. But if you intentionally sow seeds of faith, confidence, and clear vision, your mind will begin to nurture the conditions for success. This process is not magic. It is the consistent, deliberate act of choosing what you focus on and believe. The process begins with conception. The act of imagining your goal is already achieved. Visualization is more than wishful thinking. It is a detailed mental rehearsal where you create a vivid picture of what success looks and feels like. This visualization activates your subconscious mind, which begins to work tirelessly behind the scenes, align your actions, decisions, and even your environment with the reality you desire. The clearer and more detailed the vision, the stronger its pull on your subconscious, guiding you steadily toward its realization. Belief is the next crucial step. To conceive a goal is not enough. You must believe in its possibility with unyielding faith. The deeper truth, this believes a magnet drawing opportunities, people, and resources to you. The deeper truth, it strengthens your resolve to keep going when obstacles arise and keeps your mind focused on the outcome rather than the difficulties. Without belief, the mind falters, and doubts creep in to dismantle the vision piece by piece. The power of belief extends beyond mere optimism. It influences your behavior in profound ways. When you truly believe in a goal, your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with that belief. You begin to think creatively, solve problems with confidence, and take bold steps that others may avoid. Your mind shifts from a place of scarcity to abundance, from limitation to possibility. This mental state becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, turning what once seemed impossible into an inevitable reality. Science now supports what great thinkers have known for centuries. The mind and body are intricately connected, and your mental state has a direct impact on your external world. Positive, focused thinking can enhance your energy, improve your decision-making, and even influence the attitudes of those around you. This creates a ripple effect that propels you forward on the path to success. Conversely, when you allow negative thoughts to dominate, they become a prison that limits your potential. Fear, doubt, and worry create mental barriers that block your progress and distort your perception of reality. The mind becomes a battlefield where your greatest enemy is often your own inner critic. Learning to master your mind and redirect its power toward constructive, empowering beliefs is the key to breaking free from these chains. The creative power of the mind also means that you are constantly influencing your reality, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, sends out vibrations that attract corresponding experiences. This is why maintaining awareness of your inner dialogue and thought patterns is essential. It is not enough to hope for change. You must actively shape your mental landscape to match your desired outcome. One of the most profound aspects of the mind's power is its ability to overcome external limitations. History is full of examples of individuals who defied odds that seemed insurmountable because their minds refused to accept defeat. They saw beyond their current circumstances, imagined a different reality, and moved toward it with relentless faith. Their mental clarity and belief created a force that changed the course of their lives and inspired countless others. This understanding transforms failure from a final end into a necessary part of the creative process. When your mind is aligned with belief and vision, setbacks are not permanent roadblocks but feedback, signals that guide you to adjust your course and grow stronger. Each challenge is an opportunity to reinforce your mental strength, deepen your conviction, and clarify your purpose. The mind's creative power also demands responsibility. Since your thoughts directly shape your reality, you must guard against allowing negative influences to take root. This means being selective about the information you consume, the people you associate with, and the habits you cultivate. Surrounding yourself with positivity and encouragement feeds the mind the nourishment it needs to build a successful reality. Developing mental discipline is vital to harnessing this power. It requires practice to control wandering thoughts, silence doubt, and maintain focus on what you want to create. Techniques such as meditation, affirmation, and journaling help train the mind to stay aligned with your goals. Over time, this discipline becomes second nature, and your mind becomes a powerful engine driving your success. It is important to note that the mind's power is not a substitute for action, but a precursor to effective action. Belief and visualization prepare you mentally, creating a roadmap and motivation, but you must still take deliberate steps toward your goal. The mind's role is to prepare and guide, but the body must follow through. When belief and action are combined, they form an unstoppable force. Ultimately, understanding the power of the mind to create reality is liberating. It places the control of your destiny squarely in your hands. When no one believes in you, your mind becomes the sanctuary where your dreams lie, the deeper truth and grow. It is the secret workshop where you build your future, one thought at a time. Every truth or dream begins as a vision, an idea quietly planted in the fertile soil of the mind. It stirs with passion, fueled by belief, surrounded by purpose. The deep between the seed of the dream and the harvest of its reality lies a vast and uncertain landscape. This is the land where many wander and few arrive. The only bridge can carry you across this distance is persistence. Without it, the dream fades. With it, the impossible becomes inevitable. Persistence is not a fleeting act or a momentary effort. It is the continuous, deliberate discipline to press forward when the excitement has waned, when progress is invisible, and when obstacles seem immovable. It is the power to act again and again and again, despite fatigue, criticism, despite failure. The world honors talent, applauds brilliance, and admires charm, but it bows to persistence. Because persistence alone holds the power to transform desire into achievement. Many people possess dreams. They speak of their goals, imagine their futures, and make bold declarations about what they wish to become. The deeper truth, but when challenges always do, their enthusiasm fades. The moment results do not come quickly, or when their efforts are met with rejection, they retreat. This is because they have mistaken the dream itself for the path. They forget that dreaming is effortless. But bridging the gap between the dream and its reality is a test of endurance, not just inspiration. Persistence is the inner engine that refuses to stop. It does not depend on external encouragement. It is not driven by applause. Its strength lies in its independence. It says, I will continue, even when there is no sign of success, no evidence of progress, and no support from others. It is forged in solitude during the quiet nights of failure and in the lonely hours of doubt. Those who persist begin to realize that every delay is not denial, but part of the process refining them for what they seek. There will be days when the results are invisible, when effort appears to go unrewarded. It is easy to believe that nothing is happening. But under the surface, something is always moving. The invisible roots of your work are digging deep, preparing to break through. Most people give up before the breakthrough, abandoning their efforts just before success begins to reveal itself. Persistence is what prevents you from quitting in those critical moments. It is the guardian of your vision, protecting it from the awareness of discouragement. You must come to expect resistance, because the journey from idea to outcome is never smooth. The deeper resistance is not a signal to turn back. It is the very force that strengthens your will. Every time you choose to persist, even in the smallest action, you add to your power. The deeper truth, you build a history of resolve that becomes unshakable. You begin to trust yourself, not because you have succeeded yet, but because you know you will not stop until you do. The most valuable rewards are not given to those who try once or twice, but to those who have resolved that there is no retreat. These individuals have burned the bridges behind them, closed the exits, and sealed the option of surrender. They understand that time is not their enemy but their ally, and that consistent, persistent effort, even if small, over time becomes an unstoppable force. Persistence also teaches you to adapt. It is not the same as rigid repetition. It allows you to shift strategies while never abandoning the goal. If a method fails, persistence asks, what else can I try? If a door closes, it looks for a window. It is the refusal to be deterred even when the form of the path changes. This adaptability is one of the hidden strengths of the persistent mind, because it does not cling to how success must look. It remains focused on the fact that success will come. Doubt from others will come, often from those closest to you. They will question your efforts, your vision, and your pace. This is when you must learn to be deaf to the chorus of disbelief and loyal only to your inner conviction. The persistent individual does not require others to believe. They carry their own belief like a lantern through the darkness. That belief may flicker in hard times, but it does not extinguish because persistence keeps it alive through daily action. There is something sacred about continuing when no one is watching. When there is no recognition, no reward, and yet you keep building, keep learning, keep striving. That is where greatness is born. Persistence transforms effort into character. You become someone who can be trusted with success because you have paid the price with your time, your patience, and your resilience. The deeper truth, each setback becomes less threatening when you are persistent. You begin to see that failure is not final unless you decide it is. You see rejection not as a rejection of your worth, but as redirection. a course correction that brings you closer to the right path. Persistence allows you to face each fall without losing your footing. You rise because you expect to rise. The deeper truth, you try again because knowing is never an option. And so, the persistent individual advances while others hesitate. They continue while others stop. They win not by chance or luck, by the cumulative power of not giving up. They understand that the bridge between dreams and reality is not paved with ease, but with effort. It is constructed from countless hours, repeated trials, and a refusal to let temporary defeat become permanent surrender. They do not wait for conditions to be perfect. They do not hope that others will pave the way. They act. They persist. And with each step, they shorten the distance between they are and who they are becoming. Persistence is their guide, their weapon, and their silent promise that the dream will not be abandoned. The deeper truth is an island, and the journey of success is rarely traveled alone. When no one believes in you, the deeper truth, the environment around you can either become a fortress that supports your growth or a prison that stifles your spirit. The deeper truth, it is one of the greatest secrets to achievement, that your surroundings, the people you associate with, the thoughts you consume, and the atmosphere you inhabit, hold incredible power over the shape of your life. To walk the path of your dreams, you must consciously cultivate a positive, supportive environment that nurtures your belief and fuels your persistence. Humans are inherently social creatures, wired to absorb the energies and attitudes of those around them. This phenomenon can work for or against you. When surrounded by negativity, doubt, and criticism, even the strongest conviction can be worn down. Conversely, when your circle radiates encouragement, inspiration, the deeper than unwavering faith in your potential, your own confidence grows. The right environment acts as a fertile ground for your ambitions to take root and flourish. The first step in building this environment is the careful selection of the company you keep. It is often said that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is more than a saying. It is a reflection of how deeply interpersonal influence shapes your beliefs and actions. If those closest to you consistently express doubt about your goals, undermine your confidence, or discourage your efforts, their influence can seep into your subconscious and weaken your resolve. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with individuals who believe in your vision, cheer for your progress, and challenge you to grow, their energy becomes a source of strength. Choosing these positive influences does not mean isolating yourself from reality or avoiding critical feedback. Constructive criticism is essential for growth, but it must come from a place of support and genuine interest in your success. True allies are those who hold you accountable with kindness and help you see blind spots, not those who dismiss your potential or impose theirs as limitations. By seeking out mentors, friends, or communities aligned with your values and aspirations, you create a safety net that cushions setbacks and amplifies your momentum. In addition to people, the information and ideas you expose yourself to play a critical role. The media you consume, the books, podcasts, conversations, and online content, feed your mind either nourishment or poison. When no one believes in you and doubt whispers loudly, filling your mind with positive, uplifting, and empowering messages becomes essential. This deliberate intake of positivity fuels your belief system, rewiring your thoughts to expect success instead of failure. It reminds you that challenges are temporary, and that countless others have triumphed despite adversity. Equally important is the physical environment in which you operate. Your surroundings can inspire or drain you. Clutter, chaos, and distractions sap energy and focus, while a clean-organized and intentional space encourages productivity and clarity. The space you work in should reflect your goals and aspirations, filled with symbols of your dreams, reminders of your purpose, and tools that enable progress. The deeper truth, this physical support system reinforces your mental commitment and helps you stay connected to your mission, especially when external belief is absent. Building a supportive environment also involves setting boundaries. When no one believes in you, it is vital to protect your energy from those who consistently undermine your confidence or drain your enthusiasm. Saying no to negativity and limiting exposure to naysayers is not selfish. It is an act of self-preservation. It allows you to maintain a mindset of possibility and resilience. Boundaries give you the freedom to focus your attention on what matters most in your growth, your goals, and your dreams. Another often overlooked aspect of a supportive environment is the power of shared vision. The deeper truth, connecting with others who have similar aspirations or values, creates a community where collective belief magnifies individual faith. This shared vision generates a momentum that transcends what any one person could achieve alone. When surrounded by those who understand the struggles, celebrate the small wins, and push through setbacks together, your journey becomes less lonely and more fueled by mutual encouragement. Positive influences also serve as mirrors that reflect the best version of yourself. When you associate with people who embody the qualities you aspire to, you absorb those traits through observation and interaction. Their habits, mindset, and language subtly influence your own. This form of social modeling accelerates your personal growth, helping you internalize the attitudes necessary to persist when no one else believes in you. Moreover, the deeper truth, the supportive environment fosters accountability without pressure. It creates a space where you can share your progress, challenges, and doubts openly, knowing you will be met with understanding and encouragement rather than judgment. This accountability is a powerful motivator. It keeps you moving forward, especially on days when your internal motivation wanes. Knowing that others are invested in your journey can rekindle your commitment and provide the push needed to continue. Building such an environment requires intentional effort and ongoing nurturing. Relationships must be cultivated with authenticity and reciprocity. Support is not a one-way street. It flourishes through mutual care, shared encouragement, and trust. The deeper investing time and energy into these relationships creates a network of support that sustains you through the inevitable ups and downs of pursuing your dreams. It is important to remember that while external support is valuable, the foundation of a positive environment begins within. Your mindset determines how you perceive and interact with the world around you. By cultivating inner strength, optimism, and self-respect, you attract similar energies. This inner work creates a magnetic field that draws positive influences and repels negativity. When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you too. In the end, surrounding yourself with positive influences and building a supportive environment is a strategic act of empowerment. It protects your vision from the corrosive effects of doubt and negativity. It energizes your persistence and sharpens your focus. It reminds you that while the world may not yet see your potential, you are not alone. A deeper, pure environment will help you succeed. Rejection is one of the most powerful forces a person can encounter on the journey to success. It stings, it wounds, and it often leaves behind an echo of doubt that can last for years. Yet, the deeper truth, within rejection lies a hidden energy, a secret ingredient that has powered some of the greatest minds, leaders, and creators the world has ever known. The deeper truth, the key difference between those who crumble under rejection and those who rise from it lies in their ability to transform that very pain into fuel. It is not the rejection that defines you. It is your response to it. When no one believes in you, when doors close, and when your ideas are dismissed or ridiculed, you are presented with a choice. You can accept the judgment of others as the final verdict, or you can use it as a spark to ignite your inner fire. This fire, born of frustration, disappointment, and disbelief, can become the heat that hardens your resolve and tempers your spirit. Many give up because they mistakenly believe rejection is a reflection of their worth. But rejection, in truth, is merely a reflection of someone else's vision, not your potential. You must begin to see rejection not as a stop sign, but as a signal to dig deeper, to refine your aim, to sharpen your tools. Each is an opportunity to build endurance. Each dismissal is a moment to remember that belief begins within. When others turn away, it is your own self-belief that must turn inward and grow louder. Rejection becomes your training ground, your testing chamber, the furnace in which your greatness is forged. Most people experience rejection early in their journey. The first time they share an idea, express a dream, or present their work, the world does not immediately applaud. In fact, the world often responds with indifference or skepticism. This is not because the dream lacks value, but because the world has not yet caught the vision. It takes time for others to see what you see. Until then, your commitment must hold steady. You must protect your vision from the corrosive influence of others' doubt. Rejection also serves a higher purpose. It reveals who truly desires the outcome and who merely wishes for it. If every effort were immediately rewarded, the world would be filled with half-hearted successes. But rejection filters out the weakly committed and allows only the truly determined to press on. It sharpens your focus and clarifies your intent. It forces you to ask the hard questions: how deeply do I want this? How willing am I to adapt, grow, and persist until I achieve it? Greatness demands that you convert adversity into power. The rejection you receive can become the voice inside that says, "I will show them." This is not born out of anger or revenge, but from the desire to prove to yourself and the world that your value is not dependent on external approval. This mindset transforms rejection from a wound into a weapon. Not a weapon against others, the deeper truth, but a tool of precision and motivation that helps you carve your place in the world. One of the most important truths about rejection is that it often contains insight. Embedded within the denial or the failure may be a lesson, a direction, or a new approach. It is not enough to merely endure rejection, you must study it. What did it reveal about your strategy, your preparation, your presentation? What must be improved? What must be discarded? What must be preserved? Rejection can be a mirror, showing you the parts of your pursuit that require refinement. This reflection, when met with humility and courage, strengthens your next attempt. You must also remember that many of history's most celebrated minds faced brutal, repeated rejection before their genius was recognized. They were laughed at, ignored, and even shamed, yet they continued, not because they were immune to pain, but because they had transmuted pain into purpose. They carried within of a flame that no amount of opposition could extinguish. That same flame exists within you. It may flicker in moments of defeat, but it can be reignited by will and persistence. When the world says no, answer with action. Use rejection as a rise earlier, work harder, focus deeper. Channel your emotions into productive movement. Every successful person has walked through the valley of rejection. What made them different was that they refused to pitch a tent there. They kept walking, kept building, kept believing. Their greatness was not a result of being accepted, but of continuing in spite of not being accepted. Rejection also teaches resilience. It stretches your capacity to endure. With each new rejection, your tolerance increases and your fear of failure diminishes. Eventually, you no longer fear being turned away, because you have learned to turn yourself toward your goal regardless. You become immune to the sting of public opinion and attuned to the compass of your own conviction. This independence is what gives birth to true innovation and originality. At times, the deeper truth. Rejection can even be a form of redirection. The path you thought you wanted may not have been the one best suited for your gifts. Closed doors can force you to discover hidden strengths or alternate routes that bring you closer to your true calling. When you are rejected, ask yourself not only what went wrong, but what else might be possible. The road is never as straight as it seems. Often it is the detours, born of rejection, that lead you to your destiny. You must never internalize rejection as a reflection of your identity. The deeper truth, what others reject is often their limited understanding, their own fear, or their inability to see beyond conventional thinking. Your worth is not determined by how many say yes, but by your ability to continue despite how many say no. When you strip rejection of its personal sting and see it as part of the process, you liberate yourself to take bolder risks and make bolder moves. Rejection is not the end. It is the beginning of self-reliance. It forces you to become your own advocate, your own motivator, your own believer. And when belief in yourself becomes unshakable, the world eventually begins to follow. But first, you must go through the fire. You must walk the lonely road where your only companion is your inner resolve. And you must learn to smile, not in spite of rejection, because of it when no one believes in you. The greatest battle is fought within the silent chambers of your own mind. It is there that self-belief must be forged. Stronger than doubt, louder than criticism, and more enduring than failure. Remember, every great achievement in history was born from the refusal to surrender when the world said, no. It is persistence that carries you across the chasm between dreams and reality. It is the company you choose, the environment you build, and the way you transform rejection into fuel that ultimately shapes your destiny. The power to succeed has always rested in your hands. Believe in yourself fiercely. Act with unwavering determination and keep moving forward, even when no one else can see the vision but you. Because the moment you cease to doubt your worth, you become unstoppable. Your belief becomes your legacy.